Now, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
So we don't say اهدنا no. What do we have? First letter kasra. Hamzat wasl, right? It has kasra. Then we have the ha. And what is the main attribute of the ha? It has hams, right? مهموسها فحثه شخص سكت. So say اهدنا الصي. There's a very common mistake that people make. They raise the lip, the lower lip with the sad. They say اهدنا الصي نص. But as we studied in the sad, the lips has no relation to the sad, right? How do you reduce the sad? Just like this. As. So the lower lip is normal. It is down. It's not as. Some of them they exaggerate assi. No. Sad is exactly like the sin in the makhraj, is exactly like the zai. So if you make the sad like this, as Sheikh Ayman Suwaid said about his sheikh, he read to his sheikh once like this, he told him, Sheikh Muhammad Sikkar, may Allah have mercy on him, he told him, why are you making the sad like this, he said, Sayyidi, to make the safir. He said, okay, sin has safir and zai has safir, why you don't say as and az? Do you say aziz, azi? You don't say azi, right? So sad, sin and zai, they are the same, from the same makhraj, but they have different sifat. So you say see how اهدنا الصي. Now another, this is very precise mistake, make the noon light. Don't say اهدنا الصي نص. You see, اهدنا الصي, اهدنا نص. It's not nos, it is nas. اهدنا الصي. اهدنا الصراط. Make the ra heavy and then make the ta heavy. الصراط ta. اهدنا الصراط. الصراط المستقيم. We don't say al-musta, mus or mus. See the difference between al-musta, al-musta. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
قي. So the qaf is heavy, but this is the least level of heaviness. المستقيم. So normal. You don't make it also too light. المستقي. No, I heard some brothers, they read this way. This is not acceptable. You don't say al-mustaqi, qi, say qi. Al-mustaqim. Okay. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. So we don't say sirata, C, it is not C. Okay, it is not C. It is sli. Again, we're learning Hafs narration, and some other narrations is different. So, like ihdina sirata, we don't say ihdina C. We say here sli, not C. Sira. Another mistake I noticed, some people read like this. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط. What are they doing? They're putting shadda. It's not صراط. No. It is not الصراط. It is صراط. صراط الذين. Make the ta heavy. صراط الذين. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Some people say أنعمت. No, we have a like أعوذ. Here we have أنعمت. We don't say أنعمت صراط الذين أنعمت. It has complete سكون, no فتحة. أنعمت. We don't say صراط الذين أنعمت or أنعمت عليهم. No extra غنة. Why? Because what is this? أنعمت. What rule is this? إظهار. And عمت. What rule is this? إظهار شفوي. This word has إظهار and إظهار شفوي. إظهار of the nun sakina and إظهار of the mim sakina. They have exactly the same definition. You don't add extra غنة to the nun or to the mim when they have إظهار. So they have equal time. أنعمت. Subhanallah, it is amazing. The Quran recitation is amazing. It has its unique scale. ميزان. للحرف ميزان فلا تك طاغية. يعني we don't prolong when we like. It's not applying the musical scale to the Quran recitation. Never. And I will show you now some common mistakes that people hear and they just imitate when we speak about الضالين, the word الضالين. أنعمت عليهم. We say عليهم. So do you say him or him? Him. عليهم. Him. You don't need. I watched a video recently. It was spread. A younger brother, a kid, he's imitating or explaining how his teacher is teaching Tajweed. So he's exaggerating in the rules. Yon, or opening his lips back and forth and wide, and this is too much. No, Tajweed is not like this. Okay? So you don't need to open the lips. Alayhim, he. No. The kasra is not by opening the lips wide, is by lowering the lower jaw, moving the lower jaw down. E, you see, E. I don't need to say E, no. E. Tajweed is very easy, it's natural. This is how the Arabs used to speak. There's only one difference between Arabic and the Quranic recitation, the correct Quranic recitation, which is Tajweed. The extra mad and extra gunna. That's it. The Quran has extra mad and extra gunna in some words or in certain cases. So, alayhim. Also, we don't say an'amta, ta. The ta has hams, but it is not clear when the ta does not have sukun. When the ta has haraka, the haraka reduces the clarity of the hams. So, صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. غير المغضوب عليهم. So we say gha, we make the ghain heavy. Gha, say gha. غير. The ra is light. غير
غير
ري غير الماء
غير الماء
غير المغ.
غير المغ.
The ghain is heavy and it's رخو. It should flow a little bit, not غير المغضوب. No, you don't cut it. Cut the ghain. You don't say غير المغضوب. No, غير المغضوب.
غير المغضوب.
To give the ra its kasra, not غير real. This is in all the Fatiha. I told you, pay attention to the kasra. We have a lot of kasras. Make complete kasra. غير الماء not غير المغ no ما. Say ما مغضوب. And you don't press on the ghain too much. You just غير المغ. No, don't press too much. مغضوب. غير المغضوب عليهم.
غير المغضوب عليهم.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Here we have many mistakes. First thing, the most important thing is the dad. The dad is the unique letter of Arabic. As you know, there's no other language that has this letter, the dad. And this is why they say, they call the Arabic language لغة الضاد. لغة الضاد, the language of the dad, because it only exists in the Arabic language. The dad, we explained it many times, is produced by connecting the edges of the tongue with the upper gum, the upper internal gum. You press on the gum of the upper gum and you make pressure on the far edge of the tongue, the far edges of the tongue, which is the edges of the tongue that is opposite to the big teeth, to the molars. So all this area connects with all this area, not on the teeth, no, on the gum. And you start behind the front gum, the upper front gum. Then the tongue, because of the pressure, will move a little bit, giving the rakhawa, the flowing of the sound of the dad. And this is called the istitala of the dad. The movement of the tongue, slight movement, it gives this sound. So you make the pressure here on the far edges of the tongue, the far edges, right or left or both. Right, left or both, as Imam al-Jazari rahimahullah said, وَالضَّادُ مِنْ حَافَتِهِ إِذْ وَلِيَ لَضْرَاسَ مِنْ أَيْسَرَ أَوْ يُمْنَاهَا. So we say right? This is the dad, the correct dad. We don't make it the. So don't press on the tip of your tongue. It's not wala dhalin, because dhalin means those who remain. Ad-dhalin means the misguided, the misled, the lost ones. Okay. Also, some people say wala da. Dalin. This is heavy dal. There is no heavy dal in Arabic. Okay. There is no heavy dal in Arabic. The dal is different from the dad. So, dalin also means those who guide. Those who guide. So, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to make you among those who are lost, not those who remain or those who guide. Right? So you say walad. So you have dad with shadda. You don't say walad dalin, walad. No. You say walad, and you make the lam light. You make the lam light. Wala, say walad.
walad,
You see the first dot? Walad.
walad,
walad da.
walad,
walad da.
walad,
walad ضالين.
walad,
The dad is heavy. Consequently, the alif after the dad will be heavy. But don't round the lips too much. You don't need to round the lips at all to make the letter heavy. You don't say walad do. You see? Walad do. All these mistakes, each single mistake of these mistakes that I'm telling you, I heard someone making them. So they're not in the mind. No, people do make these mistakes. So don't round your lips when you make any letter heavy. Walad da, walad da,
walad,
walad da. Now, the very famous mistake and common mistake, not famous, common mistake, they prolonged ضالين forever. Sometimes 8 harakat, sometimes 10. ولا الضال. Where are you going? Only 6 harakat. Only 6 harakat. In all qira'at, there's no more than 6 harakat as far as I know. 6 harakat. 6 harakat means 3 alifs. 3 alifs. ضا ولا الضا ولا الضالين. Now here, ضالين, Rahim, Deen, where this is mad arid للسكون. You can make it 2, 4 or 6. I am making it 4. I made it 4. Generally, I make it 4 in our practice. So lean should be less, 2 harakat less than dal, right? So don't prolong it forever. No, only 6 harakat. It's not about who has longer breath. This is number 1. Number 2, in the mad, we don't go up and down in the mad. We don't go up and down. Okay? We don't say ولا الضال. No, this is not Quran anymore. This is nasheed. In nasheed you can make this, it is very nice in nasheed, but not in the Quran recitation. This is not how we read. This is not this. Imam Ibn al-Jazari mentioned this in his book. He called it taqti' al-mad. When you say then you're adding many alif. You're adding many alifs. And why? Just to apply the musical melody that you have? No, that's not acceptable. I heard this is very, very common, unfortunately. So, dear brothers, not every sheikh who has recordings or who's famous, this means he is 100% correct. No, this is not a correct thing to go up and down in the mad or in the gunna. No, no. You go one layer, you don't raise the pitch of the sound up and down. This is mad letter, it's like this. Ooh, E, not ooh. I heard someone reading like this. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Wallahi, like this. This is nasheed, ya akhi. This is music. You cannot apply this to the Quran. Also, very famous mistake, I have to mention this because it's very famous from some Qurra, and people imitate them. They have nice voice, but not everyone who has nice voice is necessarily reading completely correctly. Okay, this doesn't change the meaning. These mistakes will not, this type of mistakes will not make your prayer invalid, but this is not the way how our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited. So they say,
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم.
so here there's only two harakat. You cannot say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. No. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. You cannot prolong one and leave the other, right? Just to apply your melody. No, that's not acceptable. Some people say wala ta ta, they make it ta, and I really had some students, and I did not realize until if you don't pay attention, then you don't realize. So they did not know the dad at all. They say wala ta ta. Also, this changes the meaning. You should do your best to avoid this mistake. Another mistake, this is also common, cutting the dad. Many qurra, I hear them, they say wala da. They stop in the middle of the dad. Between the dad that has sukoon and the dad that has fatha, which is the stressed dad, we have stressed dad, right? Dad with shadda. Basically, dad with shadda here, wala da means dad with sukoon and dad with fatha. They're put together. Okay? So you do them together, you don't do them separate. So you don't cut the dad. And these brothers, they do this because they are not able to prolong the dad. They are not able to apply the rakhawa of the dad and to apply the istitala correctly. They're not being able to do walad. They're not able to do this sound. So they say walad da, walad da. That's not correct. Okay? So you say walad da. You see walad da, da. Okay? Ad-dallin, last thing, we have the lam, it has shadda. Again, we have two types of the mistakes. Some people say wala-dallin, lean, they skip the shadda. On the other hand, there are some brothers, they say, they do extra lam. They say wala-dallin. This is very common. They say wala-dallin. No, it's not 3 lambs or 4 lambs, it's only 2. And how do you do that? You make a slight nabr just before the lamb, then you get the other lamb, like this. Wala-dallin. Alli. Say alli.
Alli.
Wala-dallin.
Wala-dallin.
Ameen. Ameen is not part of Al-Fatiha, but it is sunnah to say Ameen after Al-Fatiha, which means, oh Allah, respond and answer our prayers.